In Assassin's Creed Shadows, you can make some really strong builds, and this poison build is definitely one of them. This insane poison build in Assassin's Creed Shadows for Nawe makes it a lot easier to control and dominate bigger groups of enemies. Due to the right combination of gear, weapons and engravings, this build makes full use of the poison affliction. With every hit, vault, use of tools and full affliction buildup, enemies become either vulnerable or poisoned, giving you more than enough room for your attacks and posture attacks. And as can be seen in the gameplay, this build is also very fun to play around with. Apart from building up poison affliction fast, the build makes sure that it does more damage and that the affliction lasts longer. And if that isn't enough, when killing afflicted enemies, a toxic cloud of poison will burst from them, spreading the poison affliction to every enemy close enough. Again, making them easy targets for your Tanto or Katana hits. So in order for you to make this build for yourself, I'm going to show you where you can get your hands on all the items needed, as well as how to combine all the items to make this deadly poison build. So in order to make this build for yourself, you will need the following gear, weapons, trinket and engravings. To start off with this build, it is important to have weapons that deal poison damage and have the right engravings on them. Engravings can always be added to the open engraving slots on the weapons. But for this build, you will need the following legendary weapons due to their poison build up with every hit and legendary engravings. Starting off with the katana. The katana, the Violet Knight, is the perfect main weapon for this build, as it not only has a great legendary engraving, being that it triggers poison on a deflect, but also that it does 18% of poison buildup. This buildup will make sure that every strike of the katana, poison buildup is added to the target. I also added another damage engraving to make sure that the armor on the heavier enemies depletes faster when being afflicted. In order to get your hands on this weapon, you will need to hunt a particular target of the yokai, being Yuki Onna. The yokai target can be found only during the winter season in the game at this exact location between the two lookouts of the Ibu Highlands and the Suzuka foothills. As the secondary weapon, you want to get the Yukimitsu's Revenge Tanto, again due to the poison buildup per hit of the weapon and the legendary engraving that afflicted enemies become vulnerable. For the second engraving, I added another insane engraving which does a 600% increase to the affliction buildup when hitting vulnerable enemies. The legendary Tanto can be found over here on the map at the ancient tomb of Nanyo, west of southern Kyoto, in the Yamashiro region. Starting off with the gear, you will need to get the legendary Onamusha headband for the legendary engraving that enables you to vault over enemies while sprinting. And you can make this even better by adding the skill that Naoe will throw a shuriken when vaulting over an enemy, doing some extra damage and also some extra buildup. The legendary headband can be found over here on the map in the Yamato region at Koriyama Castle. And in order to open the chest with the headband, you need to eliminate all the samurai daisho in the castle. When you have eliminated all the samurai daisho, just go to the main building and open the legendary chest. For the second engraving, I added one which increases the poison damage done on an afflicted enemy by 50%. This engraving can be unlocked by eliminating the Iron Hand of the Iron Hand guild. And in order to do so, you first need to do the other 4 targets of the guild. The armor you want to get is the Mamushi snake ropes, for the legendary engraving that dead bodies release poison clouds when investigated, and for the tool poison buildup. This makes sure that even when hitting an enemy with a kunai or shuriken, the poison affliction is built up. The armor can be found in the legendary chest in Nagahama Castle in the Omi region. And again, in order to open the chest, you need to eliminate all the samurai daisho in the castle. To make this build even better, you also want to get the legendary engraving that affliction is spread to nearby enemies through a toxic cloud when killing these afflicted enemies. and this legendary engraving you will find together with the legendary No Masterstroke costume. And this costume can be found in a cave over here on the map in the key region. To top the build off with some extra stats, I added the Kitsune's Revenge, which I found in a random chest in a castle. And I added the Strain Kit to beef up the vulnerable damage percentage and due to its engraving of 48% of armor piercing when hitting vulnerable enemies, which is something that you're going to do quite often with this build. And for the second engraving I added a plus 20% of poison affliction duration, which you will get by killing the concubine target Use Usaka of the corrupt Daikan. And there you go, with all the gear, weapons, engravings and stats combined, you will have a really strong and fun to play with build for Nawe in Assassin's Creed Shadows. And in order to make this build even better or suitable to your playing style or liking, you can always play around with the skills and stats by spending your skill points smart. So that is it for today's video. So if you enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to not miss out on the future build videos. And also if you have some very good build suggestions, make sure to drop a comment in the comment section. See you in the next one.